Hello, you. Welcome back to Wolfie United. This is the post-match reaction. You're back with me. And look at that. Surprise, surprise. Manchester United Football Club have won another match. And this time, it's in the Football Association Cup and we're into the next round. How about that, then? And who was it against? Oh, was it against that lot that are meant to be the best team that's ever been? Yeah, that Liverpool team. Yeah, the one that, should have beaten us at Anfield and the one that we were defending all our lives for and all that bullshit. Yeah, we beaten them. We're into the next round of the FA Cup. We've done it coming back from behind again. We even gave them a free goal after we went ahead and they still didn't do it. And Bruno got us the winner with an absolutely sexual free kick that belongs on Pornhub. And by Bruno, I don't mean Temmie's dog, but say hello to Temmie's dog as well. He's doing bits over there. I believe he's peed on a carpet. He's that excited. And to be honest, after seeing that free kick, I nearly pissed on my carpet. How are you doing, everyone? Welcome to the post-match reaction. I've got Temmie, Abdul, and Henry. Before we get into the show, what I need you to do is a very simple task. Like the video, help us reach the minimum target of 20 likes. But also, you might have seen the tweet earlier. We've got a little competition for you guys going. If we hit my target, I won't tell you what the target is just yet, but if we hit my target, I will activate, well, it's not really activating, I'm just going to read a question, and the first 5 people in the live chat to answer that question will get entered into a big draw for some awesome Football Town merch. Yes, Football Town are giving us some prizes to give away, so make sure you get involved. Make sure to get to that target. Now, what should we hit the target as? I'm going to set the target as a nice and easy 30 likes. Get us to 30 likes, and I'll read the question, and the first 5 correct answers will get put in the draw. Now, on to the game then. Temmie, talk to me. How did we just do that then?
I think Ollie truly outclassed Klopp.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He's done that to Pep a few times. But today, Klopp. No, seriously, he did a great job tactically. This was indicative of a game that all of us wanted to see. Good football throughout the whole game, exciting goals. We finally scored 3 goals in God knows how long since Leeds, I think. And this was a really good performance. The way he used his subs today and rotated around and did little things. I'm not shocked, but I'm very pleased. Like I'm surprised that it went this well. Like there was a lot of adversity that went our way. We went down. And got back again multiple times, and we showed that fighting spirit. And then, of course, Bruno came in and did the rest at the end, and you can only be happy about that. That was a wonderful free kick, and that's the reason why, he's kind of undroppable in our side. He's just that good of a player, honestly. What a goal and what a performance by the boys. Really proud of him.
Yeah, we'll discuss Bruno and who started ahead of him, of course, a bit later on. But Henry, how good does it feel to beat Liverpool? And what do you think was different between this game and the one against them at Anfield?
Well, first of all, obviously it feels fantastic. I think, there's obviously that bit of a sweetener. Obviously, I know people, the league is seen as sort of the main thing and people would have perhaps preferred to beat them in the league. But there is something about knocking them out the cup, disposing of Liverpool, the fact that they're not through to the next round and we are, which is obviously the main thing, which is great. I'm not sure what differences were, really. I think, first of all, the fact that it's at home perhaps changes things a little bit. I think we definitely played, obviously, people argue without fans that perhaps isn't a difference. But I think it's definitely a bit of a mentality change. I think we were definitely a bit more positive today. Obviously, they still did have a lot of the ball, and obviously there was a spell in the second half where they were toying with us a little bit and they seemed to be sort of on the front foot. You thought that they would have been the ones to get the winner rather than us. But obviously then we sorted ourselves back out. So yeah, obviously it feels great. I think there were some differences from last week. And obviously I think we were just a bit more confident today, which is what I think some of us would have wanted to see last week. But I think most of us have sort of come to terms with that 0-0 and seen that as a good result in the context. And obviously today we've gone one better and managed to dispose of them, which is obviously fantastic. But yeah, great performance. Buzzing to get Liverpool out the cup, and you got to give all credit to Solskjaer and the players because it really was a good all-round performance.
Absolutely fantastic, and yeah, you're right in when you say that it just sweetens a little bit more that we get to progress and they don't. Yeah. And Joe asked a very good question in the comments. Where's that woman who said we'd lose 6-0? Where is she? What was her name? I forgot her name. Wherever you are, come outside. We want to have a conversation. Abdel, tell me how you're feeling, mate. What do you think we did? Because Temmie said it was a tactical masterclass and we tactically outclassed Klopp. What do you think exactly it was that did that today?
Well, I think the most important part was the execution of the ideas that we came into the game with. Because last Sunday, yeah, we were very good defensively in the defensive part of things. But whenever we went forward, we either misplaced the pass or mishit it, or we got fouled, or we just did not control the ball well when we were offside. So that's the major difference. But the when we come to the tactical tweak, at least from what I've seen, putting Van de Beek and Pogba in the center just to control the ball more. Yes, it made us defensively unstable a little bit, especially that's only Pogba and McTominay together. Uh, but instead of having Rashford be the runner, he made Rashford be the focal point of creating with Pogba, and have Cavani and Greenwood be the runners, which I think made a lot of the difference because it stretched their back line very wide, and they just couldn't make up. When they had only their Rashford as a runner, they had their eyes on Rashford all the time, and it's not that they could match his speed, but they would give themselves a lot of space so that if he makes the run, they can either play him on offside because Rashford is eager, has this eagerness about him in his runs, or they will just be a little bit back, they have a distance between them and Rashford to catch him, kind of thing, if you know what I mean. So that's what I saw, the differences between today and last Sunday.
Yeah, 100%, and especially that left-hand side, it was absolutely, in the first half especially, that left-hand side tore them a new one. I thought Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford, yes, I said Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford were absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it was brilliant, and the biggest thing for me was, we're talking about the difference between Anfield and today. I thought we were a lot braver. I thought from the start of the game, we started trying to actually go at them, because I've been saying all week, this Liverpool team was beatable. It was there to be, to be attacked, and we did that today. And I thought we really were a bit more ruthless in that sense. We were less cautious. I mean, we spent the first 10 or so minutes going, you know what, we'll see how this game goes, but we'll kick into gear a lot quicker than we did against Anfield. And I thought we did that. We'll go through some comments. Meanwhile, I want Temi, can you please note how many likes we're on, because we need to make sure that once we get to 30, I'll ask the question and we'll see who gets entered into our prize draw. Anyway, onto the comments then. Brown Knight's telling us how many likes are on. That's fine. Hammer's in the comments. Let's go, boys. Great game from so many players. Defense does need to get it back together. Yes, definitely. There were a few moments today that they were a little bit shaky, but it's fine. We won the game. Another Karthik's in the comments. Great win for us. All the players played their part perfectly. Our defense looked shaky. Yes, it did. Would say both their goals are silly ones to concede. Yes, I do want to talk about that, because those are very avoidable goals, weren't they? I mean, the first one, it's a great pass from Firmino, but there's a lot of space, and you're thinking, well, you could close that down a little bit quicker. And the second one is, Cavani rushes the pass unnecessarily. I thought we played well to get out of the press, and then he rushes a pass, and it's sloppy, and we give that away. But I do want to ask you, Temi, how do you think we did against that Liverpool press? Because I had a comment on my Twitter earlier today, and they said, we were giving the ball away, but I don't think the press actually disturbed us too much.
No, yeah, I think overall we did well. Yes, the goals were extremely sloppy to concede, both of them, like you just mentioned, and you outlined kind of perfectly. I think the biggest problem is, picking and choosing our spots, when to go long and when to play out from the back. I thought, we played out from the back okay, but there were moments where, Liverpool's forwards kind of nipping at the balls, nipping at balls that were, being played out from the back, and, the mistakes that were made that were kind of sloppy, Cavani's, for instance. But, De Gea has been doing a good job, when he's in. And I think it's just a little chemistry thing of, choosing when to go long and choosing when to play out from the back. And I think that was just something that was a little bit off today. You know what I'm saying? But overall, if you look at a 90-minute game, you know what I'm saying? I think it was pretty decent. I think outside of the kind of the mistakes that we saw, it was a relatively okay performance out from the back and, handling the press. But yeah, those goals specifically were so sloppy. But again, we outscored them, which is something that we really have not done against teams this year. It's been kind of cagey games, 2-1s, 1-0s, 1-1s, 2-2s. So it's good to, kind of outscore a team for once. And, if our defense lets us down, we can rely on the quality that we saw today from our front players.
Yeah, and even though, we had those little spells of worrying, moments where we give the ball away sloppy, there was a period of about 10 minutes where we weren't really getting the ball to stick. Henry, did you feel that we controlled the game a little bit better? Because I personally felt that, until about the 65th minute in the second half, I thought, you know what, United are actually starting to control this a little bit. We're resisting the attacks, we're seeing them out, and then we're sort of retaining possession and being confident enough to go, you know what, we'll dictate the tempo, we'll start playing our stuff. Did you feel that as well?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think we did take a little while to grow into the game as well. I think, as you say, that was that sort of spell of 10 minutes where it looked like Liverpool's press was really getting to our midfield. There was a couple of times where Pogba or Scott McTominay were sort of, caught in possession and sloppily giving it away. But then that didn't seem to carry on, really. I think they sort of managed to sort themselves out in possession. And obviously, they were fine from that point onwards and didn't have much of a problem in there. But yeah, I'd say with regards to sort of control, I think it was sort of a bit of a similar case to last week's game. But although we did just have that bit more potency, I think, to our attacks. I think last week, they had a lot of the ball, but it seemed like every time we get the ball, there was more of a sort of danger, and we sort of picked those moments well. Obviously, we created 2 good chances last week that we obviously could have put away. Unfortunately, didn't do so. And this week, we were just a lot more clinical. But I'd say, I think there was a lot more space allowed for us this week as well, and I think we used it a bit better. So I'd say with regard to control, I think there was an argument that we all sort of controlled the moments and the overall sort of flow of last week's game as well. But I think we did so today as well. But as you said, the difference between sort of last week and this week was we took our chances and we managed to score the goals, which is obviously a big positive.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Klopp says in his post-match. I just saw that comment saying, can't wait to hear him blame the snow. I can't wait to see what his excuse is this time. No, we saw the comments about, Mason and Marcus. Abdel, how impressed were you with them today? Because they seem to play some decent stuff. And I thought we might have even taken Greenwood off a little bit early. But, hey, they both had a very good game today, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying earlier, like having Rashford be the creator instead of the runner really paid off today, which we've seen in the goal for his goal for Greenwood. Not only that, it's just because last Sunday when we played them, we allowed them a lot of space in the midfield because of what we asked Bruno to do. So like Ollie did not ask Bruno to, when you're out of possession, make sure you stay tight on Thiago. No, when you're out of possession, stay in spaces so that when we win the ball back, we'll play it to you and you play it to Rashford when he makes his runs. And that kind of gave Thiago the space to control the game completely in the first 30 minutes. Then after that, when we adapted to that shape that they were using when they had the control of the ball, we matched them in midfield and made things a little bit difficult for them. This time around, when we had Pogba in and Van de Beek, and I think people have the wrong idea of what Van de Beek is again, probably the freaking 1,000th time I'm saying it. Van de Beek is not a creator in the sense of how Bruno Fernandez is. Van de Beek creates space, not these beautiful passes that's just gonna penetrate 2-3 lines. He does not do that stuff, And if you ask him to do a job like, for example, you would ask Herrera to mark somebody, he would do that. And Van de Beek stayed a little bit on Thiago's toes a little bit this game around, so he denied him a little bit of space in the way he drifts, in the way that he just receives the ball and has a lot of space to dictate the game. So that was a good choice to have in that sense. But if you want Van de Beek, for example, to be dictating or creating chances the way Bruno does, that's not today's game. That's not his game. Probably if we play someone like Sheffield United, when they or I don't know, like any team that would bark the bus, basically. But yeah, like your original question, I know I drifted a little bit. Like Rashford and Greenwood, they did have an amazing game in the sense of one created for the other and one was clinical and timed his run well.
Yep, 100%. Those two were fantastic to watch, and the 2 goals being created by United products was even better to watch. It's just something about it that just makes it feel a little bit better. Brown Knight's informing me that we've now reached 20 likes, so I'm going to take the banner down. But let's get to 30 likes, and I'll get some people entered into a prize draw. So we need 8 more likes, and I'll start getting the question in. Temi, I want to ask you about Van de Beek then, because that's what the topic is at the minute. Do we need to sort of temper our expectations in terms of him? Because let's face it, he's not played a lot of football. His match sharpness isn't going to be high because we're not really playing him for the 23s or anything. Do we need to sort of manage what we think about him and go, you know what, he had a decent little spell here, maybe see where he gets some time? Or do we just need to start thinking, well, why isn't he starting? Maybe he's just not performing in training. What do you see it as?
No, I think I think he had a fine game. I think he was decent today. I think what we need to understand is, like Abdel said, it's not going to be Bruno. Like Bruno goes and looks for the ball, drops deep. He'll try and play a pass, between 2 or 3 lines. Van de Beek's not that type of player. He wants to be in and around the box, cute, clever passes. And he didn't. There was times where he kind of disappeared in the first half because he's not the type of player to try and put his personality forward the way a Bruno would. You know what I'm saying? So I thought he was fine. Again, he's a different type of person, a different type of player to Bruno. What I think he needs to learn is in this league, and obviously this wasn't a Premier League game, but it was against a Premier League opponent. He needs to learn how to, show himself more. Like when he had the ball, he did deft little touches. It was nice, but he needs to do more of that. So find the ball in different positions. Bruno has to go and look for the ball. So if Van de Beek has to, maybe drop a little deeper to make a short layoff and then come and receive it again, he has to do that. And I think he's fine. I think we're overreacting. Like just like Tellez is really good cover for Luke Shaw, I think we couldn't ask for better cover for Bruno Fernandez and Van de Beek. I think that's a really, really, really good player to have as cover for Bruno Fernandez. And it's going to take time, but again, he has not had a bad game for Manchester United yet. He hasn't. So we got to just keep on being patient, and he'll come good for sure.
I think that's a very good point, that he's not actually had a bad game. He's maybe had a few average games and a few okay games, but he's not had a bad game where you can go, oh, he did nothing today. He's always getting involved, and as Abdel's put so perfectly, his game is finding space, occupying space, whether it's creating space for someone else by taking up a certain position or just appearing in a little pocket and going, hello, I'm it, I'll bounce it off for you, and then you go. That's his game.
Right.
But Henry, I want to ask you about the man who simply cannot be ignored. It's Bruno Fernandez. He comes on and you think, well, he's only got 15 minutes. What's he going to do now? Putting a banger of a free kick away. What do teams have to do to keep this guy quiet?
Injure him, probably. I don't know. I think he's such a special player. You can't speak highly enough of him. He is just such a catalyst, it seems, for all the success that we've had in the sort of past year. Everything he sort of touches does seem to turn to points. It's absolutely astounding, sort of the consistency of the influence on games he's having. You see, he comes on, as you say, 15 minutes and does everything right. Obviously, scores a fantastic free kick. Not just that, though, picks a few good passes out. You see him. There's a couple of nearly passes. I think there was one out to the left hand side that nearly came off as well. And he's just constantly trying things, driving the team forward. You see him, there was a shot on the BBC coverage of him for a few seconds, just shouting at people, pointing his arms around, flailing his arms around, sort of being the leader that we've all come to know him as. Even off the ball, obviously he's pressing, especially when he's fresh in that sense as well, in that he's got that 15 minutes. He was intense. He did everything well. And obviously he's the man that's got us the goal that's won the game. So, you can't speak highly enough of him. I think Ole used him perfectly as well. I think it was a good way to use him, sort of preserve him, keep him on the bench, bring him on for 15 and sort of bring him on at that point. I think it would have been easy for him to bring him on at the same time Klopp did Mane. I thought he might have done that. Obviously, they're warming up alongside each other, but he didn't. He held on, and obviously it proved to be the right decision. So yeah, I can't speak high enough of Bruno Fernandez, and it was another brilliant performance as we've sort of come to expect of him.
Honestly, for me, he is the best midfielder on the planet. I just can't. I can't say anything other than that. Yeah. On form, he is the best midfielder on the planet, and he's such a clutch player. And he comes on, and you can just tell he's the kind of guy that sat on the bench and he's nagging Ollie, going, "Get me on, get me on, get me on, get me on." We could be 6-0 up. He could be on the bench, and he'd be saying, "Get me on." That's the kind of player I love to see. We'll go through more of the comments. Let me check what likes we're on. We're on 24 likes, so if we can get 6 more by the end of this video, we'll have some entries into our competition.
I want to say something about Bruno. As good as he is and as impactful as he is, he's just the one weakness to his game. Well, actually, two. And if I can be critical a little bit of him, is that he wants to play the most difficult passes from the first time. Like, I just received the ball this instant, and I'm playing one of the most difficult passes I could ever play in that same instant without thinking, and then he overhits it or underhits it, or he just completely gives it to another player from the opposition. So he just needs a little bit time on the ball from that difficult passes, like these difficult passes that he wants to play. This is why he keeps losing the possession a little bit. Now he has the mentality and attitude and personality to, like, oh shit, I messed up here, I'll go get it back, kind of thing, you know. And his personality and attitude makes up for it. And the second thing is that when we're pressing, he sometimes loses his bearings a little bit, and his angles. So when we press, you want to be using your cover shadow to cancel out a certain player.
Yep.
Bruno does not do that very well. He actually opens up angles sometimes for people to play out of our press. So these are just the two little things that I'm going to criticize him on. But apart from that, the guy has been like perfect on and off the pitch.
Yeah, I know what you mean in terms of when he tries those difficult passes. Also, if you didn't see this, but Temi has just done the most incredible sprint I've ever seen to get his dog out of the room and run back into shot by the time Abdel's gone out of full screen. That was fantastic. Anyway, as I was saying, no, the thing with Bruno is I think his mentality, certain players have this mentality where they have to do something incredible. They need to show that they are worthy of being in that team. And I think that's where that comes from. His winning mentality is always to think, I've got to find a way through to that goal as quick as I can. And as Abdel says, his attitude makes up for that when he loses the ball. Because, I mean, I've coached players now that obviously they're not at the same level as Bruno Fernandez, but they have that similar mentality where they go, if they've done something stupid, they themselves know. You don't need to tell these players this thing. So, like, when all these people on social media going, oh, Bruno's giving the ball away, he does this, he does that, he knows that himself. You really don't need to, go on about it. He'll correct that himself. Has anyone seen the very recent Ollie interview with Stadium Astro? No, I haven't. Does anyone know what that is? Has anyone seen that on here? No? Hang on, next comment. Ollie spoke about how we need to avoid rushing things, how it's down to a player's personal responsibility to make the right choice. I'm a big advocate of that, and I'm glad he said that, because I think as a manager, you can give them a message, you can tell them how you want them to do things to an extent, but on the pitch, it's always players' responsibility. I feel you can make little tweaks here and there, but players make their own decisions at the end of the day. You can't tell them what to do every little moment of the game. So, yeah, I agree with that. Not sure what he was referring to, but I do agree with that. Hammer says, I think he gets too crazy in his head. Sometimes he looks like he's just on some other energy, but that's what makes him Bruno. Good point. Temi, in terms of this result then, going into the next round of the FA Cup, we face West Ham. We should be confident in that one, right? I mean, we've beaten a big team. We've always been criticised for not being able to get past the big moments in cup games. Does this give you a bit of confidence to say maybe we could build a better cup run this time?
No, yeah, this game is obviously huge amounts of confidence, not only for this cup run, but for all the competitions we're still competing in, Premier League, Europa League. Obviously, West Ham, we got down to them this year, so let's not forget that. And they are a good outfit there. Their midfield is really strong, really powerful, two powerful central defensive midfielders in there. So it's not going to be easy. All of these games, they bring different challenges and, different things that the manager has to look at and try and, counter against. So, yes, to answer your question, this is going to be West Ham's definitely going to be easier than Liverpool, but I would imagine that he's going to field a weaker side, right? So he's going to field, maybe bring in a Tellez, like I said, good cover. Maybe Van de Beek plays again, good cover. But again, they're not our starting 11. So yes, to answer your original question, we should have tons of confidence from the game, and I think this is a competition that we should be looking to win. We beat the best team in Europe, so now there's nothing left to hold us back.
100%. And you know what? I think this could be an opportunity for us to go and get that trophy. Henry, are you confident that we can go and win the FA Cup, or are you still in that little group where some people, including myself, are going, when we get to the semi-final, I will be a bit nervous. And don't get me wrong, the players will be too. Let's not pretend they won't be, because they'll know their record in semi-finals. That'll be playing on their heads as well. Or do you think, you know what, just go game at a time, let's see how it takes us? How are you feeling ahead of this new cup run?
No, I think what you said there basically sums it up. I think there's got to be some nuance. Obviously we've just beaten Liverpool, and obviously that's going to breed confidence, which can only be, well, I say it can only be a good thing. Obviously there is a stumbling block there. If we go to West Ham, overconfident, perhaps get a bit complacent. I say go to West Ham. I think it's Old Trafford actually. If we go into that West Ham game, a bit overconfident and a bit complacent, obviously that could be a stumbling block for us. So, but at the same time, after beating Liverpool, they should be in a good place, in a good headspace mentally in this competition. But no, and as you said as well there, we've got to take it a game at a time, because we've already seen that when we get to a certain stage, there is a bit of I'm going to call it a mental block. I'm not sure if that perhaps is what it's down to, but I think that's perhaps one of the things that a lot of people have attributed it to. But yeah, we've got to be careful, just because once we get to that stage, we haven't seen any proof yet from this team that we can get beyond there. But obviously, I think when you win games like this, it does give you something to sort of cling on to and some hope in that. So, and obviously, I think as United fans, we've come to expect in these cup competitions, you know, we've got to get far, we've got to push as hard as we can. And, you know, when you beat a side like Liverpool, there should be no reason why we can't go on and win it. And I remember a couple of years back, though, as well, in the same vein, I think we knocked Arsenal and Chelsea out of the FA Cup, didn't we? Back to back, and then went on to get knocked out. So, you know, it's all ebbs and flows. We'll have to see what happens. Let's just get past West Ham first, take it a game at a time. And obviously, hopefully, we can go and get some silverware under our belt.
Hopefully. I'm looking at the like count. We are 3 likes away from 5 lucky people being entered into our prize draw. So make sure to get me those last 3 likes, and I'll ask the very special question. And the first 5 answers that are correct will be going into the live draw. Abdel, I'll ask you the same question. How are you feeling ahead of this cup run? Are you confident that we can go and maybe win a trophy?
Yeah, I don't see why not. We can. This team is definitely growing in confidence day by day, and their ability to come back always is one of the things that will make teams frightened of them. So yeah, I don't see why we cannot win it. Like, as long as we don't get Man City in the semifinal, I'll be extremely confident. But the thing is, with the semifinals, I don't think it's a mental block yet. You know, because like these semifinals, you have to take them one separately. Like, if you look back at the League Cup that we had against Man City last year, like, we were just not on their level at that time. Like, nowhere near. You know, you had James, you had Jones, you had Fred and Matic. I think you had Williams. We were just nowhere near that team. You know, and it was it was not a surprise. Maybe the manner how we completely got outplayed, but it was not a surprise that Man City was going to win that semifinal. And if you move to the Chelsea one, we were just burned out, and they had 2 extra days of rest, and all you want prioritize the league. And then you go with the Sevilla one, like, we were the better team. We had like 20 odd shots and freaking open goals, and we completely missed everything, you know. And it's just our luck was not there on the day. And the last one that we lost, we were more equal in the game to Man City, but how did Man City beat us? Like, 2 like very sloppy goals from set pieces, non-Man City goals, completely not a City goal at all. So, like, if you take them separately, you would understand the situation of each of them. But I wouldn't say mental block yet. I'll wait and see the next semifinal.
He's already declared that we're going to get to the semi-final of the FA Cup, and that means Abdel thinks we're going to win the FA Cup, which means we're going to win the treble. Basically, that's what he's saying. I love putting words in people's mouths. It's so fun. Before we wait, let me check the like count. Actually, I want to see 2 likes away. Come on, guys, let's get those 2 likes in. We want to get some people into our prize draw, so make sure you get that like button smashed. Now, Temi, performances then. Who stood out for you in terms of individuals?
Definitely Marcus Rashford. I think this was his best game in a while. Just in terms, not even leave the amazing ball he played through to Mason Greenwood. I mean, that was out of this world. I think he kept it much simpler today. I think he looked good in tight spaces, whereas recently I thought he's been kind of frenetic when he's been on the ball. Looked great today. I was really happy for Mason Greenwood to get a goal. Took it really, really well. And also the pass for Marcus Rashford, again, really, really special. Good to see 2 academy players kind of linking up and doing what they've been doing. I thought Luke Shaw, even though he made a mistake for the first goal, had another really, really good game. Happy to see that, you know, he's getting back into form going forward, especially very, 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 very strong. I'm going to give a shout out to AWB as well. Defensively, he's always a rock. But I thought there were some moments going forward where he looked particularly good. There was an amazing run. I think he like dinked the ball over somebody and then cut it back again and put in a decent cross. I think all of our players had good games. I can't really think of anybody who was completely abject. Maybe our center backs were off the pace today. But I'm really, really proud of the team. I'd say my man of the match, I would give it to Marcus Rashford today. And really proud of him. Really proud of him.
Brilliant. Marcus Rashford. I remember Saka's a shout as well. I thought you had a good game. Henry, over to you then. What about you for individual performances?
No, I agree with what Temi said there, really. I think Rashford would have been my man of the match as well. I was slightly surprised when BBC coverage gave it to Pogba. I thought Pogba was good, though, to be fair to him. I thought there was a couple of moments, as I say, when he sort of maybe got his sort of pocket picked in the midfield with the press. But no, after that, he did fine, and obviously did well at sort of driving out of that Liverpool press and picking passes as well. So I thought he was good. As you say, Rashford, pretty faultless performance. You know, it's one of the sort of better Rashford performances this season, I'd say. You know, he looked positive going forward. He looked, you know, confident to take on his man. Obviously, that fantastic pass to Mason Greenwood, took his goal well as well. So yeah, I struggled to find any faults in Rashford's faults. I thought Luke Shaw was good again today. I thought, you know, maybe in that spell when Liverpool were on top, you know, he got caught maybe a little bit too narrow. Apart from that, faultless, you know, going forward, winning the ball back, all of it was really good. And as Tammy said there as well, you know, Wan-Bissaka was absolutely brilliant as well. And as he alluded to, you know, with, I think it was Andy Robertson who he sort of took it round a couple of times and put a cross in, you know, some good signs of going forward, which is positive as well. So yeah, I'd say, yeah, my man match would have been Rashford, but, you know, as Tammy said again, you know, everyone had their moments. Yeah, it was just a positive all-round performance, but, you know, Marcus Rashford did have a particularly brilliant game.
Seems like Rashford's dominating it so far. Abdel, what about you? Is there any new names that you want to throw in, or is it Marcus Rashford all the way?
I'm going to be a little different, and I'll give it to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because he's been on the receiving end of a lot of criticism the last few days, saying that he was like a very bad player and a bad signing, and we should, you know, upgrade on him and all that stuff. Nah, I don't believe that at all. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is still 22. He can improve his forward game, that's for sure. And then, I mean, if you look at all the switches that we've done today to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the area where he's just completely alone and he has to run all down all the field on his own and then wait until someone come and support him. Like, what do you want a player to do in these instances, you know? And defensively, he was not suspect in throughout the season. He was okay. I think the problems with people is when you are exposed to frequent switches, you know, this is an area of the game that's very difficult for any defender, especially if you don't have a support from a winger or from a midfielder to cover with you. So maybe you could say it's a weakness in switches when he has it as a game, but I don't see that as a weakness. I see that as we need to do better as a team to cover. So yeah, I would give it to him because he was good today. He was really good.
Yeah, for me, I think, I mean, I haven't looked at the actual individual stats just yet. I'll probably do it later on, because I'll have to do my own stuff later on. But I will have a look and decide who's my pure, you know, informed man of the match. But for me, just going off the game, I think Rashford, obviously, he tore them apart in the first half. I think Greenwood's a shout. Pogba did have a good game, I thought. Luke Shaw even is a shout. I mean, there's plenty of players that could be an option, but I think more we need to look at is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I think once again he's proved that, you know, he's learning, he's improving, he's adapting as well. I think if you look at how he performed at Anfield and how he performed today, there's a certain learning curve that's happened there, and he's sort of adapted to an opponent a little bit more. So I want to ask all three of you again. So Temi, I'll ask you first. You seem to you're always making sure that you're balanced with Solskjaer. What have you made of the last couple of months? And is this almost a culmination of those couple of months? Because beating the former champions, I mean the current champions, it's a big achievement, right?
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about this for a while, and you know, how Ollie's progressed from last year to this year. Like, if we look at the first half of last year, I'm going to be completely blunt. The football was abject. I mean, it was poor football. We had a lot of the ball in tons of games, and we couldn't break teams down. It was boring, slow, methodical. And if you look at the way we've kind of transformed as a team over the past few months, the football is not perfect by any means. There's still a lot of things we can improve in our patterns of play. I think the best teams have a lot of goals that look similar. The way Liverpool did it for the past couple of years, you can kind of predict the way they're going to score goals. And Ollie's getting there. I think we're building something. And I truly did not feel that probably up until the past month, where I'm like, wow, I've seen the past few months, and if you evaluate it, the football has truly improved. The games we weren't winning last year, and I think I say this on every single stream, there were certain games last year that, you know, West Brom 1-0, we wouldn't have won that game. You know, keeping a draw against Man City 0-0, we would have lost that game. A 0-0 against Liverpool, we would have probably lost that game at Anfield. Certain games that we're grinding out that we couldn't do last year, we're doing it this year, and I have to give Ollie credit for that. Like, I mean, opinions change, things change over time. Last year, if you asked me, do I think he deserves the job? I would have said no. Right now, if you ask me, do I think he deserves to stay in the job? I'd say 100% yes. It's so obvious the players are playing for him. How, like, if I see players are playing for a manager and we're winning games, even though the football might not be the way I want to see it every week or it's not perfect, I can definitely see improvements. And I got to give Ollie credit for that. I can't lie. There's definitely a big improvement, and long may it continue.
That is precisely the kind of balanced opinion we love to have on this channel. Also, we've hit the 30 like target, so massive thanks to everyone who's in the live chat right now. I will trigger this competition then. So here's what's going to happen. I am going to ask you all a question. Should be a doable question. So hang on, I'll put this instruction up on the screen as well. So for you to get a chance to win our prize, it's some amazing Football Town merch. We'll be doing the draw once we hit 2.5k and another draw at 3k. So this is your chance to be in that draw. I'm going to ask you a question now, and the first 5 answers to come in that are correct that I see. So don't go, oh, I sent it first, but I typed it first. No, the first 5 that I see will be entered. I'll write down your YouTube username, and then we'll go from there at some point. I'm sure we'll find a way to contact you. Meanwhile, I'm looking for a piece of paper to write down the name of the people, because this is very old-fashioned. I can't be bothered to type it. Right, I have a book. No, I don't have a book. That's not my book. Right, I'll just type it. Whatever, who cares? Okay, so the question is, let me find it. Right, so obviously, in 1999, the last time we played Liverpool in the FA Cup, that wasn't the last time, but we did play them in 1999. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored the winner in that game on our way to the treble. The question is, what score was it in that game? First 5 answers get it. So in 1999, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored the winner against Liverpool in the FA Cup. No, what did I ask? What was the score? Yeah, what was the score in that game? Get your answers in now. Let's see. Come on. Who's got it? No cheating, no Googling. I know you lot. I know YouTube comments. I know how it's going to work.
I think that's the most searched game after Ollie got the job.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's not the most searched. That's not the most searched. Surely the Bayern one's most searched.
You forgot
Also,
how many times.
by the way.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm about to say, by the way, that goal that he scored that we're just mentioning, like every time I see that goal, it gives me shivers. Like, that is an absolutely. A lot of people say Ollie, oh, he was a super sub. You know, he did. No, he started his first season as a player for United. I think he was the top goal scorer for the club. And he started a bunch of games for Manchester United. Wonderful, wonderful player. And he looks like he's turning into a pretty decent manager.
Decent manager.
The reason I said it was the most searched because remember when Ali got the job, everyone was talking about he got the job because of that goal. So probably everyone looked up that goal and like,
right, okay. I think we've got all our answers in. There's a couple of wrong answers. Come on, lads. Right.
Yeah.
Let's display some of the correct answers. So number 1, Jacob. Well done, mate. Next one, Stuart. Well done to you as well. Correct answer. I'm hoping you've not just copied each other, but we'll carry on. 3, Fred Woodward. Well done, mate. I hope that's your real name. Otherwise, we're going to struggle getting your prize if you do win. We've got an incorrect answer here from Junior McKenzie, who said 2-2. Where's the next correct answer? Cypher184. You've got the right answer, and I don't see a 5th answer. Everyone else has got it wrong. Maybe I should have waited until the
I'm going to say trick question. Okay, so let's see if we can get one more person. Who scored the first goal in the same game that Karthik is talking about? Who scored the first goal? All
right, the correct answer to that will get the next entry. So we've got 1 entry left. Who scored the first goal in that game?
I do. So I'll see it here in the comments. Guys, drop it in the comments. The first goal scorer. What year was it? 98 or 99? I think it was 99.
99.
I was talking about for United, but yes, that's also correct. Michael Owen did score in that game. The first goal scorer for Manchester United, excuse me, in that game. Who can get it? We'll see. Dang, it's quiet. It's crickets in here, people. Wow. Oh.
They're all Googling it. That's what they're doing.
I know. But Jacob, you already got it right. So you're oh, look at that. But yes, that is the correct answer. Somebody who hasn't already been entered, type it and just win. Get your name in.
Yeah, the 2 people that have got it right already entered.
Already
So
entered in.
you've got to tap in. You've got
The
to tap
answer,
in.
yeah. Somebody just type it right now. This is the answer. Just type it and you get entered for prizes. Literally just type this right here. Yeah.
There you go.
There we
Brown
go.
Knight's got it. There you go.
Thank
Brown
you.
Knight's got it. So we'll give the last entry to Brown Knight. So there are your 5 entries. So your 5 entries are for today: Jacob, Stuart, Fred Woodward, Cypher184, and Brown Knight. Thank you very much for getting involved. And this will be on every show. So if we didn't win today, you will get a chance to get in. Well, you didn't win. You got entered. But you will get a chance on every All for United show. So make sure to tune in. Make sure to subscribe, because the only time we'll get to actually do the draw is when we hit 2.5k and 3k. So make sure to subscribe. We'll end the show then. Temi, final thoughts from you. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel great. This is the best I felt as a Manchester United fan probably since Ali got the interim role, honestly. And those few months that led after that. Really happy with the performance. We drew against Liverpool and won in the space of essentially a week. And what more could you ask for that? We're top of the table. We just knocked out our arch rivals in the cup as well. We're 6 points ahead of them. If you're not happy as a Manchester United fan right now, you will. I don't want to say you'll never be happy, because we've seen better days, but you got to take the little wins, and we're winning little battles. Hopefully, at the end of the season, we can say we won the war. So let long may continue. Like I'll keep on saying, long may continue.
Is it uncomfortable sitting on that fence, Timmy? I'll get you to fall off. Don't worry. I'll get you on our side. Don't worry. Brown Knight, you've not won yet, mate. Calm down. Okay, now. Henry, go on then. Final thoughts from you.
No, I think just to echo what Temi just said. Basically, we've sent the Scousers packing. We're top of the league. It's hard to be negative about anything right now. Obviously, the only thing would be if we were still in the Champions League, but that ship sailed a long time ago. We've moved on from that, and obviously, you can't say what would have happened if we had gone through there. Maybe it would have distracted us from the league, etc. It's all part of it. It's all has a knock-on effect. So you've got to be happy. You've just got to be happy and positive. We've just got to keep going. Keep supporting the boys, and hopefully we can, as Temi says, win the war. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if that's the case. But there's a lot still up for grabs in this season. And, you've got to be positive about us going and doing well in the competitions we're still in. So yeah, long season ahead, but everything's looking up at the minute.
I love how people are still sitting on the fence about this league. It's so cute. You're just trying to be cautious. No, none of that. Also, I really liked your answer until you mentioned the C word, which we don't speak about anymore on this channel.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It hurts me personally when we mention that tournament. We don't speak about it anymore, okay? We just don't. Right? It's not spoken about. Don't make that mistake again. Abdel, final thoughts from you, mate.
Nah, I think this win could be the start, of something very, very special.
Say it.
Yeah, us winning. Because Ollie's just gotta tell them that, listen, we.
Sorry, hang on. I would love if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer started his team talks with listen. That'd be fantastic. Anyway, sorry.
Why do you guys have to make fun every time I say yo? Okay, anyway, but he can use this just as they used this in the 99 run, because it was that win against Liverpool in the FA Cup that started United winning everything. So if he can use that as a catalyst, this win today, we really could go on to win not just the league, maybe a cup with it. So yeah.
Abdel's just said we might be able to win the treble. I will be. If we do it, I will be shamelessly calling it the modern day treble, because it includes the Europa League. That's what I will be saying.
I would do the same too. So.
Brown Knight's here. He's on the right page. What tournament? I can't remember. What wasn't it? C for cancelled. Yes, it was C for cancelled. We've allowed everyone else to carry on with that tournament. We'll come back for that next season. It's fine. We're busy with other. We've got bigger fish to fry first. Final thoughts from me then. We won an FA Cup. We won an FA Cup game. Simple as that. We're into the next round. At the end of the day, it was another cup game. Yes, it was against Liverpool, which is the extra bonus. But we've won a cup game. We're through to the next round, and the important part of this FA Cup run was to start a new run, because we came into this tournament off the back of that semi-final defeat against City, and we said we had to respond and kickstart a new run, try and right some wrongs in terms of getting to a semi-final, maybe winning that semi-final, get to a final, and challenge for a trophy. And today we wrote some more wrongs correctly, because we went to Anfield, and at the end of it, we felt maybe we could have gone for them a little bit more. Maybe we could have scored a couple of goals. Maybe we could have done a little bit more and taken our chances. Well, we did that today. I thought we were really positive. I thought we created a lot of stuff. We played some fantastic football. And you know what? We deserve to win. Whatever Jurgen Klopp decides to come out and say, we deserve to win today. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has added another scalp to his list. And that list is containing a lot of big managers now. Jurgen Klopp is the latest one. I mean, one of them's a scalp that, you know, you can clearly see because he has no hair, Pep Guardiola. He's got... Hey?
They're a stalemate record together against each other now. 1 win for each and 3 draws between them.
Well, there you go. So basically, what Abdel's saying is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is as good a manager as Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, that's pretty much what he said. So we've only got to feel positive. We're top of the league. We're into the next round of the FA Cup. We're still in the Europa League. That still exists if you even care about that. Because who cares about the Europa League when we're going to win the league? So yeah, make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment below what you made of the game. Make sure to subscribe. Because the quicker we get to that 2.5k, that 3k, that's when we can start giving away some awesome merch for you all. Because you all deserve it. You're all legends. And thanks for joining us. And don't forget, 21's on the way. So don't watch anything other than All for United, because you know the party will be here when it happens. See you in a bit.